Alright, welcome to the playthrough of Flying Colors. In great anticipation of the third printing, which is going underway by GMT Games. Also in anticipation of the arrival of my copy of Blue Cross White Ensign that I managed to find and acquire from Second Chance Games. So what's happening is I am playing it in vassal, not in the table. So the previous episode of the series we went through the introduction and turn 1, and now we're going towards turn 2. We're playing Cape Ortugal scenario, which is great to practice the rules and practice command structure rule set. Okay, this is how turn 1 ended. We rolled for the wind and the wind remains as is. So, and we reviewed the commands, and the entire French is all in range, and the British can, even if they are not in command range of Strachan, they are in the formation command, so they can also activate together. So we're going to roll for initiative. French rolled a 2 and the Brits rolled the 3. So initiative, we sum the die. 2 for the French plus 2 of Dumanoir is a 4, 3 plus 2, it's a 5 for the English, and the English win the initiative. And they are going to activate their entire formation command. And given they are reaching, regarding the wind position, they have 5 movement points, all of them. So we're gonna start with HMS Caesar, and we will want to keep the wind, but we will want to get closer to the Frenchies without allowing them to cut our line. So what we're gonna do is spend 1 movement point and now make aware from reaching to running, which is another 1 movement point. And the turns on wearings is always, it's the turn that turns. So we do a port turn, that's 2 movement points. Then we spend 3, and from running to reaching we spend 0. So we spent 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put the sails aback to spend 1 movement point without moving. So that's 4, 5. Okay, we spend the entire 5 points. The Duguay 2 could have chosen to fire at any point, but they will keep their broadside fresh, and the British can still fire. And let's see, our port firing arc, and I think the British will fire actually. Or maybe they will keep their broadside to when the French move, and I think we will do that. The Brits are just worried if the French try to make attack through and then isolate the ships in the rear of the column. Well, let's see. Okay, the hero will move 1, 2, 3, 4 and will drift with the wind for a 5. So we can close the gap there. He and HMS hero 1, 2, 3, 4. We could put some fire on it at the moment, but I think we will keep our broadside for defensive fire. And now the Coraggio, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna drift with the wind for a 5 MPs. Alright, now it's the French, and they are all in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Now they can move in any order because it's not a formation. It's a command group, so what the French will try to do is take advantage of this gap. So we'll try to make, or we could try to align there. Or could tack through the wind. I think I will try to align. So 1. No, I'm gonna be defensive fired here. Man. Well, I'll have to take fire at any point, really. Problem is, I'll probably get fired by both ships if I get closer now. Oh, there was an issue. I can't drift. I was watching now. And only ships that are grappled, fouled, dismasted or struck. In this case, is move those ships 1x with the wind. Okay. So I replaced, sorry for that mistake, I replaced the final positions. So there's an issue here. No, I could stay there and leave space and make take a back, and I'll do that. This one gets closer. Okay, so the gap is not so big. Okay, French move 1. The Brits still don't fire, although a rake through the bow would be possible here. He will move from beating to reaching, which is 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are moving, and now the Brit will fire. Remember, we still have 1 movement point for that ship. But now the British will fire. Not this. Alright, firepower. this is what I wanted to see. So it has a relative rate of 2, and we see here on the line it's a 2, and the distance is 1. We count always the range, so it's 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, all the same, so it's always the 2 squares, so whichever is longest. So it's 3 anyways, so we go to column 3, it's a 10. We didn't have any relative rate modifiers here. Okay, we are in the 3 column, and firepower modifiers. We have no shaded on the number. We have attacker's audacity, which is 3, so from 10 we go to 13, and it's the initial broadside plus 2, that's a 15. Now we go to the hit result table, and we go to column 15. The Brits always fire to the hull, and we're gonna roll a die. It was a 3. Exactly, was a 3. I was lots of 3s, so, and we still have modifiers. So we are hitting the hull, and it's a British ship firing 3, it's a 4, and we are firing with the wind plus 1, that's a 5. There's no other modifiers that apply, so we go to column 15, and on the 5 it's 3 hull and rigging. So this ship suffers 3 hull hits that we can see there, and 3 rig. Alright, he can fire back, and he will before the next movement point. And the process is the same. So we have a relative rate is a 3, and as we are French, we will shoot at the rigging. So we are a 3, and there's no relative rate modifiers. So it's a 3, and we are at 3 distance. It's a 8, and we have a white background, it's plus 1, so it's a 9. The audacity is 1, it's a 10, and the initial broadside, it's a 12. We go to the 12 column, which is this one. We're firing at the rigging, and we roll a die. It was a 9 plus 1, because we are French, firing at the rigging. It's a 10, and we are firing into the wind, so it's a 11. So see, we are firing into the wind, so 11 on, what was the column? It was 12, right? 3, 3, 8, 9, 10, 12, yeah. On the 12 was a 9, 10, 11. So 12, we go to the 11 result. Oof. It's actually it's 4 rigging and hull. So the French is actually I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to hit everything in the rigging, it's just that you ordered the gun batteries to aim at rigging, but obviously shot will go also to other parts of the ship or hit the blocks that hold the shrouds and all that. So we had 4 hits in the hull and 4 hits in the rigging. And we still have the last movement point. Alright. Now, it's gonna be Dumanoir's own Formidable, which will move 1, go from reaching to beating, that's 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, that's the 5 movement, and we won't shoot at anything. And HMS Hero will not fire. Okay, the Mont Blanc will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He will not fire, and that's for now the end of the French turn. I'm thinking if the I couldn't interrupt. Should have interrupted earlier. So it's the end of turn 2. We're going to turn 3, and we roll for the wind. Who had the initiative was the Brits, so let's say the French roll for the wind. It's a 5, there's no change in the wind. So 0 to 5, no change. And now we roll initiative. No, we first decide the commands. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, oh wait, I still missed one ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that one is moved, sorry. Okay, everything is done. Just taking out the smoke. Turn 3, no change on the wind. And command groups 1, 2, 3. So in command 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So French command will be this one, which will be somewhat called the group command. And Strachan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will also be a group command. So for turn 3 we're gonna roll initiative, and just looking at the dice I say that the French win because it's 8 plus 2, that's a 10, and 4 plus 2, it's a 6, and the French will take the initiative. And now, without any wind change, the French are facing a problem here. Because they really need to get into either, well, the objective of Dumanoir would be to escape, right? But in this case, I mean, we'll have to try to get as close possible to the British line as possible. So I'm gonna move the Duguay-Trouin first. Okay, the Caesar could try to fire me, but would be a partial broadside. So he will keep his gun silent at the moment, so that's 1. From reaching to beating, that's plus 2, so 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and now the French will fire. As you see, we can pretty much hit everything. And we can actually hit for the rake. We can draw a line of sight directly to... Okay, the row of axes that extends along the length of the ship is called rake line. Okay, we cannot rake because it would be this ship, this line, and this line, so we would have to be firing from that axe there. So there's no rake. But we will fire all the same and aim at the rigging. So we're going again and check our tables. So we are a relative rate of 3. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 at 4 range, it's a 6. We already fired our initial broadside, same as the Caesar. I should have put a marker there, but we will remember. Okay, we have a 6. And we have shaded white. That's a 7. Plus 1 of the audacity, it's at 8. Hit result tables, we go to the number 8. We're going to hit rigging. And we are French firing, and we're firing into the wind. So we're gonna roll, and we roll the 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. On the 8 we hit 1 hull. And okay, now it's Dumanoir's on Formidable. He has to move 1. And now Caesar will try to interrupt the Formidable move with a raking fire, which we will see if it's possible. Okay, rake, we're gonna roll. We roll the 5, no rake. Okay, and we have to, it's a relative 2, the range is 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's the same. Okay, so 2, range of 3, it's a 10. The Caesar already fired. It's a 10 plus audacity is 3, 13, and that's pretty much it. So we are in column 13. We're gonna fire at the hull, of course. Okay, we rolled the 3, and it's a British ship firing with the wind. So 3, 4, 5. On 13 hull, it's 4 hull. Alright, we have 10 hull hits out of 15. We're almost flipping the ship. Okay, we had moved 1 point, 2, 3, and now three points, 4 and we take a back and spend 5 and we're gonna fire. Starboard. Yeah, I put the... Okay, we're gonna fire our starboard into them. So basically same table. We roll a blue. It was a 6. Okay, he's a 1. At the range of 1 it's 17 and we're going to hit hull. Okay, it's a 17 but we are black circle. So we reduce 1. Comes to a 16 plus 1 of the audacity, 17 plus 2 initial broadside. Let me check the point blank fire. What is considered point blank? I mean, right, rule 379. Point blank fire. Ship may fire while passing through an X occupied by an enemy ship. Aha. So I would be on... I couldn't stop where the enemy ship is, but I could pass through and made a point blank, so it doesn't really count. So we were on the 17, minus 116, plus 117, plus 2 initial broadside, it's a 19. Right, we are on a 19 for the hull. We hit a 9. We are firing into the wind, it's a 8. And that's pretty much it. So 19, 8 hull. So we have the 8 on the 19, 7 hull. Devastating. Devastating. Strachan is... oh, we have to see if the both commanders actually went down. You see where is the commander casualties. Whenever a ship carrying 1 or more commander suffers damage, roll a die for each commander on board. So I'm gonna roll for Dumanoir. It's a 1. Okay, nothing up. Now for Strachan, it's a 5 and nothing happens. Alright, now it's Mont Blanc. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the move from beating to reaching is 0. And we will be interrupted in this during the last turn by the hero. So yeah, I already turned it, but it was still... Oh, let me do the turn, starboard turn. Yeah, it was like that. So we're gonna fire. Let's see our arc. We can hit it. 1, 2, 3. So the range is 3 and not 2, because it's the longest. It's going to be the initial broadside of the HMS Hero. And we're going to target hull. So we are at a relative rate of 3, range of 1, 2, 3. So a 3, 3, it's 8. Plus 3 of the audacity, that's 11. Plus 2 initial broadside, that's a 13. Okay, column 13, and we are British. Okay, we rolled a 4, plus 1 British, plus 1 with wind, that's a 6. Alright, 6 on the 13 on the hull. It's 3 hull with possibility of fire. Okay, let us check the fire, the possibilities, because we have to make a roll. Fires. During the fire combat, any result includes an asterisk indicates that the fire may have started on the target ship. Roll a die. So we made 3, and if the die result would be under the damage done, it would be start a fire. It would have to be under 3, it was a 9, nothing happens. Now here what happens is if I also want to return fire with the hero, and I think it's just natural that we do. Exactly when, well, pretty much we can already start our moving. And now fire. Alright, the distance is 2. We're going to our table. So we see that we are a relative rate of 3 with white circle. So we are a 3 at a range of 2, it's a 9. And we, okay, it's a 9 plus 1 for the rate value in white. So that's a 10 plus 1 of the audacity, 11 plus 2 initial broadside, that's a 13. And we're going to hit hull. So the 13, we hit the 7, and we're firing into the wind, which turns it into a 6. So 13 hull, 6 is 3 hull, possibility of fire. And we roll a die for the fire. And it was a 7, there's no fire. And finally, remember that the Brits have yet to move, although Strachan, the ship has already fired, so, and Hero as well. Okay, now it's the Scipion, which will move 1. Now we turn to starboard, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and there's no firing, and now the initiative goes back to the Brits because they lost the initiative at the start. So what the British will do, and see they already fired, they can fire, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thinking if it's not a bad idea, but okay, now it's hero, so it's 1, 2. Two, 3, 4, 5. That one was 0 movement points. And now finally we move the Courageous, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Courageous is going to fire at the Mont Blanc. And we go to our firing table, and again it's a relative rate 3 with the white circle, so we are 3. At range 1 it's a 12. And plus 1 it's a 13, plus 3, 16, the audacity is 3, 16, plus 2 of the initial broadside, that's an 18. We're gonna aim out hull, of course, we are British, so we rolled an 8, 9, 10 with the modifiers. Okay, we are in the 16, 10, 6 hull. That's a lot of damage on that ship. Alright, we mark everything. At the moment, the only ship that hasn't fired is the Scipion. All the others have made the initial broadside. We mark everything moved. We take out the markers. And it's the end of the turn. So next will be turn 4, and things are starting to get interesting. We go to turn 4, we're gonna roll for the wind. The initiative was with the French, the Brits will roll. Oh, we have a 7. And that means the 7 is 1 point clockwise. And the wind turned to that position, straight. So the ships that were reaching suddenly are now running, and the ships that were beating suddenly are now reaching, and it will be interesting. So see you in turn 4. Thank you for watching, leave your comments, and overall have a good time. Cheers, thank you.